For this morning's main event, please welcome another one of our incredible Platinum partners, Miranda Wilkinson from the National Medal of Honor Heritage Center to the stage. Miranda helped us bring Mr. Birdwell to Georgia from his home in Oklahoma. We greatly appreciate all you have done to make today's experience possible. Thank you.
Well, good morning. My name is Miranda Wilkinson. I am the Director of Education at the National Medal of Honor Heritage Center in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We do have some other representatives here that I do need to mention. Scott Saunders is our historical interpreter. We could not run our education programs without Scott. And we have several teacher fellows that are with us today, a 2023, a 2024, and a 2025 teacher fellow who was a teacher fellow but became a senior fellow. So they're all sitting up here. I think some of you may have met them at the booth, right? Did they have some big energy? I hope they did. It's one of our keys here. Well, as I mentioned, we are from Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I guess the question could be, if we're from there, why are we here at the Georgia Council for the Social Studies? But I think the even bigger question is, why haven't we been here yet? I'm not quite sure that many of you recognize or realize Chattanooga is recognized as the birthplace of the Medal of Honor, but we have such a special connection between our two states because the very first mission, and maybe some of you have heard of it, Andrews Raiders took place between our two states. You have the Texas, you have both of the trains. We actually tried to steal your general later on, but you have both of your trains, one at the Atlanta History Center, the Texas. The general is in Kennesaw, formerly Big Shanty, Georgia. And so we actually take our teachers on this route in our programs. But this, if you're not familiar with this mission, 24 Union soldier volunteers and some civilians go down to Atlanta or go down to Marietta, Georgia and try to steal a train and wreak havoc along the Western and Atlantic railways. Their mission fails miserably. Several are hung. They are actually buried now in our Chattanooga National Cemetery. Several escaped and several became POWs. The very first recipient is Jacob Parrott, only 18 years old. And so we tell those stories at our center along with other stories of the over 3,500 Medal of Honor recipients. And we are very lucky to be sitting in the presence of one today, Medal of Honor recipient Dwight Birdwell, who you will learn much more about here in just a moment. At the Heritage Center, we tell the big stories of Medal of Honor recipients through our big energy programs, hoping that students and teachers, both students and teachers, recognize that you and they are capable of making a big impact in your sphere of influence and whatever that looks like. On the screens, we've got our teacher fellowship program up there. We launched this teacher fellowship program back in 2023. It is open to Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi teachers because our funders from those states are very passionate about supporting educators. Since 2023, we've had 40 teachers come through our program. This program opens up next month. And so we do hope that you apply. I know several of you were in our sessions earlier or stopped by our booth. Hopefully you do apply for this program. I was teaching in the public education system in Tennessee for 9 years. And there I understand what it feels like to not always feel valued as an educator. And so I told myself that if I ever get my hands on some funding, I'm going to make sure that we put together a program that hopefully teachers feel valued when they walk away from it. And so that's what we've been trying to do here at our center for the past 3 years. And we're really excited to continue that, thankfully, because of the Fields and Bell families. Some of you may have attended our session this morning. Brittany Haynes was the presenter of that. She's our 2024 Katie Fields Bell Fellow awardee. She presented her lesson, was centered on Andrew Jackson, the U.S. government versus the Cherokee Nation, which creatively included the only five to date Cherokee Medal of Honor recipients, one being recipient Birdwell, who is the only still living. And so today, we are excited to share his story with you. Thanks to the Birdwell family, we currently have an exhibit at our center, and I really, really love the way this exhibit is laid out. It walks through his childhood, through his military service, and his pathway to the Supreme Court of the Cherokee Nation. It's so beautifully done, and we love being able to tell his story at our center. And I love the title of what we have given this exhibit, and it's called Cherokee People Don't Hide. And you'll gain a better sense of why this exhibit is given this name after viewing his beautifully crafted vignette by OCEO. And following this vignette, Medal of Honor recipient Birdwell will speak, and then we're actually gonna, we've carved in some time, hopefully, to open the floor to allow you to ask some questions as well. So recipient Birdwell can trace his ancestry back to North Georgia and to Tennessee. They were part of the older settlers that left actually before the Trail of Tears, but still many connections back to this location and to our two states. So I just want to ask a few questions, and then I know we're already a little bit, we got about 19 minutes or so. I'll ask a few, but then I do want you guys to have a chance to speak with him. We've had the pleasure of being with the Birdwells for about a year now, on and off, working on these exhibits and through our teacher fellowship program. So we want to certainly share that time with you. Clearly, you grew up in a Cherokee community. What were some of those values that you learned growing up that you took with you into your military service, and what kind of an impact did they have on you?
Hard work, striving to do the job right, studying hard, learning all you can, appreciating as much as you could find it, the history of the Cherokee people, being able to listen to everyone and get their point of view. I think it's very important. You may not agree with people, but you need to listen to what they have to say, and I did that as a child because sometimes you learn an awful lot from opposing views, and those are some of the things that guided me. But I'd have to say hard work, studying hard, and listening to all points of view about life and whatever.
And as a Native American, what were some of the challenges you faced while serving in the military? I know you've shared several with our teacher fellows, but I'd love for them to hear as well.
Well, I think probably the biggest thing was really people didn't take me seriously. The majority of people, all they knew about Native Americans was what they had seen on Roy Rogers and Gene Autry, and we were kind of a joke. I remember frequent comments about don't give him any beer, he'll go crazy and scalp us, and stuff like that. And I noticed not only with myself, but with other minority soldiers that the promotions were slow in coming, and sometimes the duty was harder that we were assigned. But that was just life in the military in that time.
Aside from some of the missions that you have, what were some of your most memorable moments while serving? Because you not only served in Vietnam, you also served in Korea as well.
Right. I served 10 months in Korea on the DMZ in '66 and '67, and while on the DMZ, I call him Grandpa Kim. He ran North Korea, and he had these big loudspeakers that he would broadcast across the DMZ and tell us things like your girlfriend's going out with somebody else, or your wife's doing that, or your parents are sad. You need to come across the line. Then he passed on, and I call him Sonny Kim. Sonny Kim came along and ran North Korea for a while, and now we have Baby Kim running North Korea. And no offense, I love the South Korean people, and I feel sorry for the North Koreans, but I think Baby Kim is a real nut. But being able to meet and know the South Korean people that I appreciated very much and still do, was one of the greatest treasures that I took from Korea, in addition to the U.S. soldier friends that I made. But I developed a deep appreciation for the Korean people, hard workers, people of integrity and honesty and dedication. and they loved the United States. And I'll forever be appreciative of my time in Korea. Gave me a chance to learn about their culture and their life, and I've never forgot a staple of a Korean diet, something called kimchi, which I can eat, but not much of. It's powerful.
It's powerful. I know you've shared with us several stories that you were able to kind of navigate ethnic backgrounds while serving. Can you tell us a few of those?
Well, in Korea, when we were in our base camp area, there was a town outside the base, and a big street went through town. And the right side of the street, all the black soldiers went to. The left side of the street, the non-black soldiers went to. I was the only soldier welcome in the black part of that village. I could go in, come and go with no problem. And really, the reception I got there was oftentimes better than the reception that I got in the non-minority section. And I remember one night we were across a river not too far from the DMZ, and I had a favorite MCO. Actually, he was my tank commander, black gentleman, Sergeant Powers. So I went to his tent. There was a large tent to see him. And I opened the flaps, and everybody in that tent, must have been 20 black guys in there, are having a meeting discussing their grievances, and they just stared at me, and Sergeant Powers made a comment. He said, "Oh, that's Birdwell. He's one of us. He's an Indian. Come on in, Birdwell." So I sat in on their meeting and listened to their grievances and what have you, and they made a lot of sense. But I really, really got along well with the black soldiers. We had what was called KATUSA, Korean Augmentation to the United States Army. U.S. Army was so short on soldiers that the South Korean Army would supply its best and brightest soldiers to us to supplement our deficiencies. And I learned so much from them about their culture and habits and what have you. And also, it was just good to a lot of draftees, say, for example, from New York City and other places, that I would have never got that exposure had I stayed back home. So I got along well for the most part with everyone. Met a lot of Puerto Rican guys, a lot of Mexican fellows, and it was really, Korea was a good time. Good time to meet people and develop an appreciation for other cultures.
So spent time in Korea, then immediately went to Vietnam.
After 10 months, I went to South Vietnam, and I've been trained as an armor crewman at Fort Knox, Kentucky, but I made somebody above me in rank very, very mad. So I got stuck in an infantry unit, and I served in the infantry section for 3 months until it was discovered I'd been trained as an armored crewman, and I was offered an opportunity to join a tank or stay in infantry, be promoted in infantry or be promoted as a tanker. And this person who wanted me to join his tank, he was the kind of guy that when he worked on you, he was really good psychologically, and I just couldn't tell him no. So I went on his tank. He sent me to an NCO academy, and immediately, and while I was there, he got, so to speak, blown away. And I came back today, actually the night before the Tet Offensive of 1968, with a new tank commander. But that was my initial reception in South Vietnam.
As you saw in the vignette, his story, a very powerful story. Your own service personnel that you served with said that there were 10 of those tonsonnets. This was you, this was your life there. You were always stepping in the fray. But what many people don't know is that recipient Birdwell comes home and then literally makes his way to the Supreme Court of the Cherokee Nation. We discovered last night that he is he's one of us. He has a bachelor's in history, and he double minored in geography and political science. We're learning new things all the time. And so, yes.
Thank you.
So one of the questions that was brought up last night, what inspired you to take that route? Was it a teacher? Was it someone along the way?
Well, from the time I was a little boy, older Indian men and women would tell me, you need to become a lawyer, because I guess I was real argumentative, and they thought that that was a good trait for a lawyer. Well, becoming a lawyer in my circumstances, what can I say, it'd be easier to fly to the moon right now. And I didn't hold out much hope for it, although I thought, wouldn't it be nice if I could? And when I came back from Vietnam, for a while I did migrant farm work, and I ended up in Wisconsin. And there was a group of college students from Tennessee that everybody wanted to go to law school at that time. They were all planning on going to law school, and the more I listened to them talk, the more I thought, well, if they can do it, why can't I do it? And so I came home and applied for law school, applied for two schools, University of Oklahoma and the University of Arkansas. I grew up 3 miles from the Arkansas line, so it was natural that I'd apply to the University of Arkansas. Oklahoma chose me. Arkansas put me number 40 on the waiting list. So I ended up at Oklahoma, and I graduated in 1976 and began practicing. And a lady named Wilma Mankiller, who was chief of the Cherokee Nation, appointed me and reappointed me to the Supreme Court. And I served in that position for 12 years.
So we have about 7 minutes left. I think maybe we can take 2 to 3 questions. So if you have that burning desire to ask one, please make sure it's a question that will benefit the whole crowd here, if possible. We're really hoping for that. But we can take 2 or 3 questions. But if no one makes their way to the microphone, then I can ask it. But we do have a microphone right back here in the center where you see the camera, the microphone is. And Cooper, our resident videographer, was pointing.
Good morning. As the mother of a tanker, my son was formerly Cav 112 and is currently 164 Armor at Fort Stewart. I texted him and I said, "What question do you have?" And the question to me that he posed seemed very poignant to us as teachers too. And his question was, as a leader of troops in a chaotic situation, what strategies or techniques did you use to keep the calm?
Respect your people. Don't accept from them what you're not willing to do yourself. If you don't take care of them, they're not going to take care of you. Those, to me, are the most important principles. And really, I think it applies to what you folks do as teachers. I don't think we really, as a nation, give teachers the respect and the salaries that you deserve. This is truly how I feel. What little I know, I learned from a teacher. My first grade teacher, I can still remember many days of class with her. My second grade teacher, the same way. And I'm here in great part because of my teachers. And the same way with leading in any position, you've got to respect people, you've got to compensate them, and set the example. I'd like to say one thing. I've been asked questions about this coat. One person asked me a while back, what Salvation Army store did you get it from? And actually, the coat was given to all Medal of Honor awardees who attended the New Orleans Convention in 2023. It was made by a group of tailors on the East Coast, actually sewn in London by from Scottish fabric. So I'm very, very proud of the coat. You'll occasionally see pictures of other Medal of Honor awardees wearing this jacket. So if you know of one in a Salvation Army store or rummage store, tell me. I might want to pick it up as an extra. But this is the last free coat I've got since I got out of the Army, and I plan on wearing it until I die.
Awesome. We have another one here.
Good morning, Representative Birdwell. And first of all, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
So my question for you is this: what does it mean for the legacy of the Cherokee Nation to be recognized in this way?
Well, the best answer I can give, this medal reflects positively on Cherokee people, on the Cherokee Nation. We've contributed, people may not really realize the depth of our contributions, but we've contributed for generations and generations, not only to the military service, but other things. But to me, it brings credit, it brings honor, and it brings dignity to the Cherokee Nation and the Cherokee people. And I'm so proud of that tiny contribution that I've made to Cherokee people. I know in World War II, there was one other Cherokee gentleman named Jack Montgomery who was awarded the Medal of Honor for his service in Italy. And Mr. Montgomery came home and headed up the VA in Muskogee for years. He was a humble, polite man. But I might say that I probably stand and do stand in Jack Montgomery's shadow. He brought credit and honor to the Cherokee Nation, and that's what I hope to do.
Thank you.
I love how you say in your vignette at the end, you know, it's for the kids, it's for the younger generations, right? So with our little time here, I've got one last question. As we approach America 250 next year, we clearly have much to reflect on as a nation. We have many questions to ask ourselves why, so hopefully we don't repeat those tragedies of the past. But we do have a lot to celebrate. And so my question to you is, what do you hope we as educators and as educators with our students, what do you hope we reflect on? And what do you hope we celebrate moving forward?
I'll answer as best I can. Do your best to teach that all people are different, understand that they're different, understand that we need to listen to each other, and we need to be proud of each other's heritage, culture, and background. After all, we're all one, but that doesn't mean we neglect, for example, our Black culture, our Native culture, our Scottish culture, our heritage, or anything else. We are one nation, and just teach and search for understanding and appreciation for who we are.
Thank you, sir, for your service to our nation.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here again.